How goes it? You alright? It's Matt Nõmme here, talking from the beautiful shithole of Wales. I hope you're doing well. I've got this thing on my mind at the moment, and I wonder if you can answer me this question. It's just, you know when you have one of those things in real life, like, in real life? in life, where you hear something and you cannot get it out of your mind, like a question, and you want to ask everyone, but you think you're a little bit nuts for even thinking that the question exists, and you don't want to go around asking people just in case they'll dob you in. Well, I've had this question because the UK government this week has decided that they're going to punish protests and build them up as if they're commutative, right? So it's not just how intense a protest is, it's also if you've protested a bunch of times, they're going to add them up, right? And I thought to myself, what's the smallest protest you could do for a certain number of times that will get you arrested, right? And I can't not think of one thing. That, like, if you walk past a politician on a regular basis, or a police officer, and farted in their general direction, right? You do it once, and they're like, that was weird. And you do it again, and they're like, okay, this is strange. And you just keep going, just walk past some MP, and you like do it for weeks and weeks and weeks. How many days would you have to fart on a politician before you're arrested? Why are farts so funny, man? Like, you know, I'm not on about being too invasive. I'm not on about, like, oh my god, do you remember that woman who got arrested? I think she's in jail. Wait, woman, let's have a look on my laptop. Woman in jail for farting in DMs. Now this is different. This is not a protest. This woman, the world's first cyber farting court case, makes history in Wales. I didn't know it was in Wales. Oh no, no. No, they're giving us a reputation. First that, then this. Gwynedd, fart selfies used to harass woman's partner's ex. Oh, that's horrific. Oh, she looks like a... This is so bad, man. Woman was sent videos of herself passing wind in a series of harassing messages with her boyfriend's ex-partner. Has been given a community order. Rhiannon Evans, 25, in Gwynedd, pleaded guilty to pursuing a course of conduct amounting to harassment. Christ. Okay, we have our answer. How many times did she do it? She sent inappropriate video. She passes gas. She sent 3 more on the 22nd of December. And 4 more in the following days. While she was passing wind and smiling at the camera. Oh my god. Right. So how many times is this? Okay. She's not in jail. She got a community order and fined. Let's have a think. Right. So we got 1 on one day, 3 on another, 4 on another. That's 8 times. That's 8 farts. So if if you walk past a politician 8 times and fart on them over consecutive days, you're probably going to go to prison for protests. And probably harassment. We got our answer. Oh, that was short, wasn't it? Shit. Do you ever remember the, you might not have ever heard of this. There's the most mental thing the Welsh people have ever done. There is something so nuts even more nuts than harassing people by farting on them. Oh my god, or like fart DMs. Why are farts so funny? Fucking hell. That's not working. My mouse. So there's something mental that Welsh people did. It's the most mental thing that we have ever done as a people. And that was a little thing called the Rebecca riots. So all these Welsh blokes decided what would be a really good idea is to dress up in women's clothes. This is in the 1800s. And burn everything to the ground. Just raise things to the ground, right? That they were pissed off about. So the story kind of goes that in the early 1800s or mid 1800s, if you were a rural farmer, you would imagine you got all your sheep, yeah? You got all your sheep, you got your cows. You need to send them to market. What you do, you ain't got one of them lorries now where you see all their poor little heads hanging out of as they're off to market to be slaughtered. Instead, you would have to actually walk them to market. Now, walking them to market had to be down roads. Tarmac didn't exist. So what are you going to do? The roads were horrific. So all these private little entrepreneurs decided, do you know what would be a good idea? I'm going to put tolls on the roads and improve the roads. And these guys can then, if I maintain the roads, as the guys come down, they'll pay me a toll, they'll get their cattle to market. Kumbaya, eh? It never fucking works like that, does it? What happened was the roads slowly deteriorated, or probably quickly, to be perfectly honest. And if you're a farmer, the further you were away from the market, you would, one, have to walk further, obviously, which is already a pain. But on top of that, you would have to pay more tolls. So you would be using more days to walk and paying more for the privilege of working harder. And you could go all the way to market and back, and it started feeling not worth it, if not worth it, if you were further away. Because all the money you've made off sheep, you've been paying the toll. I got some pictures. There's an old toll house, because they'd be these kind of houses with two gates on them. And I've got a picture of one here. So for the time, it's even imperial, isn't it? I wouldn't know how to do this. But like some of the things they charge for were for every horse or other beast except asses drawing any wagon, wain, cart, or any other such like carriage. For every ass drawing any cart, carriage, or any vehicle, 2 pence. It's all these different things, very specific. And imagine that you go over toll gate and you get to market. You've spent 50p on getting this sheep all the way to Carmarthen, and you make 46 pence off the sheep or something like that, and it just don't feel worth it. So these blokes got really fucked off. It took a few years and there was rumblings. You've got all these fucked off farmers, yeah? They're all pissed off about all the tolls they're having to pay. They're all pissed off they're making no money, their family's starving, their livelihoods are drying up. And so they come up with a plan. We're going to dress as women, go out in the dead of night, and fucking burn everything down. Now, I've got this. I've been looking through all old newspapers, right? And I have to bring up one thing. This is one of my favourite things about this. I've never seen someone else talk about it. But right. There's lots and lots of accounts. Because people were so secretive about it, not many people were dobbing them in. A couple of people did, but not many. So most of the accounts we have are from courtrooms where people were admitting things. And this is an account from a courtroom in the 1800s. Dude. This is some Monty Python style shit, right? There was one person there who attracted my attention more than the others. They called him Becca and Mother. He was occasionally on foot, but generally on horseback. When first I saw him, he was walking about whispering to the different men. He rode a white horse, was dressed in a white shirt, and had something black over his face, and an old bonnet on his head. I did not recognise that man, but suspected him. The greater portion of the people had the same instruments in their hands. Some had guns, some had pickaxes, cross saws, and they remained at Coed Caibrin mine for about half an hour. And I went off in a body towards Rhydypandy Gate. Sorry, I know what's coming. The man on horseback went before them, and before leaving he said, Come, let us go now, it is time. He spoke in Welsh, and imitated a woman's voice as near as he could. So it wasn't, Come, let us go now, it is time. It would have been, Come on, let us go now, it is time. You got all these lads out, burning shit down, dressed as women to disguise themselves, all going like, let's bloody burn it down, boys. There couldn't be more Monty Python if you even tried. Is there anything more on here? In obedience to Becca's orders, the party fired about 20 shots on the road, and their numbers increased as they proceeded. I heard the man calling out on the road, Lucy, Mary, Nanny. I just imagine all these big burly Welsh blokes walking around, all farmers dressed in women's clothes, and they don't need to do the accents. They don't need to put on the women's voices. But it's, if you're in for a penny, you're in for a pound, aren't you, boys? Sorry, I keep coughing today. That's really fucking tickled me. Because you could imagine, especially back then, with the farmers doing all this farm work, people didn't grow as big either, so often through nutritional things, diets weren't great, you're living off the land. So the disparity between some of the really big men and then the smaller men and the women would have been massive. If someone's big, they would have looked giant, right? And there's this one bloke, this big hench bloke, he's walking around, Thomas Rees, alias Tum Carnabuth, residing at a place called Carnabuth, in the parish of Monachlogddy in the county of Pembroke, was in the year 1842 made a leader of the Rebecca rioters. Now there's something interesting about this Thomas Rees bloke, right? So he was considerably above middle stature, possessing great muscular power, and was a noticed pugilist, which, when I did some research, turns out that's what they used to call people who bare knuckle fighting. Pugilist. He frequently gave ample proof of his powers at fairs or local festivities. So when he was chosen leader, and it was decided the rioters should wear women's garments, considerable trouble was experienced in procuring a gown large enough to fit him. Several gowns were borrowed, but to no purpose. Man, they should have had that. What's that store called? Tall and something. The thing where it's like for all tall people or quite big people. They needed one of them stores for this big burly bloke who needs a nice big woman's dress. It was feared that a new one would have to be made. I don't know why that's feared. I'm assuming that that's a lot of material. He sounds like a big bloke. At last, however, the rioters came across a tall and stout old maid named Rebecca, and after undergoing some alterations, her dress was made to fit Thomas Rees tolerably well. From this circumstance, the name Rebecca was adopted. There's another theory that Rebecca is from the Bible, and all these people would have been very religious at the time. So Rebecca was probably from that too. But the other one, I love this idea that is from a bloke at this woman that was so big that Thomas Rees could fit inside this big dress. So they named it after her. That puts a bit of a target on her back though, doesn't it? There is also, it's so funny, they would call the rioters, so they called the head Rebecca, and they'd use words like her offspring or her children as the other people who were rioting. There was one case, and I don't understand this, I was trying to work this one out. Apparently there was an elephant. Like, it's getting mad. You've got these people rioting, burning down toll booths, burning down workhouses, burning down anything that people thought was something oppressing them. And there was, oh no, sorry, my bad. They didn't use an elephant, but an elephant once ripped up a toll booth. And when that elephant ripped up a toll booth, they all thought, well, it'd be handy if we were one of them fuckers, wouldn't it? Imagine this elephant. You're in the middle of Wales, right? And apparently there was an elephant that, it must have been from a circus or something like that. The toll collector asked them to pay more for him than he would a horse. But the guy who owned the elephant was like, nah, mate. Nah, bro, I got an elephant. It's got 4 legs. Yeah, the trunk's a bit longer than a horse's nose. But at the same time, it's all the same thing, innit? Elephant, horse. Let me pay the same, mate. And when it didn't happen, when the toll collector wouldn't let him pass without upsurging that price, he got the elephant to just destroy the gate. The keeper went forward alone, but he had not gone far when the toll collector's surprised. The animal quickly took the gate off his hinges, laid it flat on the road, and followed his keeper. The bloke was like, what are you going to do, bruv? I got an elephant with me. Like, what the fuck are you going to do? Could you imagine being that bloke out in the middle of Wales and an elephant comes towards you in the 1800s? It would have been the most bizarre feeling ever. Absolutely mad stuff. In the end, when it came to all these Rebecca riots, though, it kind of worked. I know after reading a bunch of things, laws were changed, but laws were kind of changed, were kind of heading that way anyway. So the pressure of these rioters and the pressure of the things that went on definitely would have made a difference. But I'm not convinced after reading everything that it would have sped things up. It seemed that because it was just happening in Wales and not somewhere closer to, say, London, there was a reluctance to really cave to these demands. They just kind of let them go on. I've got a list that's 4 pages long of different dates that go from, when's the first date? So the first date, page 1, is 1839 on June 15th. That's documented in this old book. So that's 1839, June 15th. And then the last one being on, that's November, but April 1844, April 21st. So that's like 4 years of attacks. And it didn't quite change straight after that. They even thought that Welsh people were so stupid they couldn't have organised this themselves. So they thought it was actually a Tory MP at one point. They just couldn't work it out. Now, I'm not going to flash you, but I've got a tattoo of a bearded Welsh lady on my leg. Or maybe I should flash. No, because I'm by There's people walking past. They just see me pull my trousers down in the front window. It's kind of cloudy, overcast autumn day here. And last thing I need is a knock on the door from a copper. And I'm obsessed with stories like this. I'm not sure if you are. These old stories that people have done mad shit. Like, I'm obsessed with the fact that people have done mad shit in the past, and we keep forgetting that they've done this. Like, people have done some mad shit. Welsh blokes dressed up in women's clothes went round with high-pitched voices and raised everything to the ground. That's some mad shit. Aside from that, right, I've been chilling. I hope you're doing well. And I've been Matt Nõmme, and we'll speak soon, yeah? Ta-ra.